So it's really good to see everybody today. What we're going to be working on is Cami. So some of you either maybe have heard me speak about it, have heard others speak about it, have no idea. Doesn't matter. We're going to get started from the very beginning. And what I am going to ask of you today is to choose kind of how you want to learn. I'm going to be presenting to you right now on Meet. So you'll see that I'll have this slides presentation going. Feel free to watch me the whole time as I do a demo for you, or I have a section where you also have the ability to come into a PDF annotation session with me. So you have the choice to either just stay on here on Meet and watch me go through all the steps before you actually do it yourself, or I invite you to open up the Cami app when we get to that part in a separate tab and join me in an actual PDF annotation session where you could just kind of listen from the Meet. So you could be in the PDF area tinkering around with me and just listening in the Meet. But that's totally up to you. You get to choose which one you want to do, what suits your learning style. So for those of you who don't know me, this is me. I'm Jackie Batanio. This is my contact information. You need me at any time, reach out my email, reach out to me on Twitter, and follow the district office here because that's where we manage a lot of the things that are happening and sharing out of practices and all of our Bitmoji classrooms and all that jazz. So I'm just going to go through. These are the housekeeping components. This is the slides doc that you're on. And then this is the sign-in link. So you don't have to do this right now, but just at your leisure, please click on this and sign in when you can. So Cami, what is it? It's a PDF and annotation platform, right? It's something that it's good for teachers and it's good for students. Obviously, if it's good for teachers, it's good for administrators and pretty much anybody else who is working with students or otherwise. You can create blank documents on there, or you can upload things to annotate. So you have the ability to pull in from your Drive. So this integrates with Google Drive, and you're also able to push it out onto Google Classroom all in one area. So you'll see when we go through the platform, when we first sign on, it has the ability, it'll say pull in from Drive, pull in from your laptop, or start a blank document. It's currently free, the premium access, so you get all the bells and whistles. It is a freemium tool, which means that when the free part goes away, you could still use it. There are just a couple of elements that won't be available. So again, you kind of have to pick and choose what you think you want to invest your time in. So that's why we're kind of doing these snack bite PDs. See if it's something that you think is worthwhile. And trying out with your kids and your colleagues. So it helps with universal accessibility. You can collaborate on annotations with others in your doc. So you'll see the annotation feature that you can collaborate with others. It's similar to using Google Docs, and you'll see the components there when we get to commenting. And it's an easy sign-on. You just sign on with your Google account. So for those of you who are in here, I think I have PS44 in here, and I'm not sure if I have any other schools, but I know you all have your own domains. And that's what you would sign in with. Just to note, right here are the Cami resources. So these are the resources that we've put into a folder for you for future reference or something to look at later. There's videos in here and how-tos and quick start guides all in here. And you don't need to do this right now, but there is a component on the annotation feature where you can do screen capturing, and you need to have the extension on your computer. So when I talk about screen different extensions for Chrome, those are the things that live up here. My mouse is up on the top right. So these are the items that will enhance your experience on Chrome. This particular feature for Cami, it needs you to put the extension on. So you don't have to do that right now. If you want to do it in the future, you can. I'll show you where it will be used. So down to the next slide. I'm not going to play this for you, but again, this is on their homepage. If you wanted to share this with somebody else, it talks you through what Cami does and what it will do for you in remote learning. All right. So first things first. If you want to follow along with me, like I said, you can do this or you can just watch me. So the first step is to go to camiapp.com. So you can click right on here, or you could type in Cami app in your browser. And this is the landing page that it'll bring you to with all the other information that you might want to see. What you do is, for you, if you're going to do this now, you would click create an account. Okay? And this will take you through the process. It'll say, oh, well, I'm already signed in, but it will ask you, do you want to sign in with your Google account? And that's what you would do. You would go through the process of signing in with whatever your Google domain is for your school, and it connects and will be reading your drive so that you have the ability to go through and pull in information. Now, just really quick, can you do me a favor and unmute yourself and tell me, are you going to sign up right now, or do you just want to watch me?
I want to watch you.
Okay.
He said.
I'm going to just watch. I'm the librarian.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch you.
Okay, perfect. So now I know. I'll just kind of go, I'll just start moving along then. Okay, so for you, like I mentioned, you will create the account. It'll probably ask you what you teach, all that jazz. Once you're good to go, it will sign you in. This is the page I was referencing, and it's also on the slides. Open from Google Drive, open from your computer. We're not doing this right now. You can create a classroom assignment right from this landing page, or you can create a new blank document. So think about this. How many times do you go online, you find a PDF, and you're like, oh, I wonder what I can do with this. And like you might put it into your drive, you might push it out to students, but all they could really do with it when you have a PDF is just sort of look at it, right? You can't really do anything to it. And then when you try to open it up in Docs, sometimes it gets all funky and it's all over the place. With Kami, you have the ability to actually type onto the PDF and annotate on there. You can't, it's not like Adobe, PDF Reader or anything where you're like really manipulating a PDF to save. You're just kind of putting text, images, and other things on top of this for students to be able to actually make it more meaningful and have a tangible feel to it as if they had it in front of them.
So Jackie, may I ask you a question?
Go for it.
So in other words, this is really to have an interactive Google document. Is that correct?
An interactive PDF.
PDF.
Yes.
Because
Yep.
here's the thing, like I know I'm sitting on a citywide panel next week, and I had to create a presentation to reflect all of our schools, all the teachers and everything that they've done. So I am currently preparing it, and one of my issues, I'm doing it in slides, is that I found out you can't insert a doc into it, a PDF. So what I'm doing right now, and tell me if I'm wrong, is I'm using Candy PDF to convert that to images in order to insert it. Is that because someone else, Lynn, who's Lynn, she's wonderful. I love Lynn. She's the best. She gave me something else, but that wasn't working. And then one of my librarian friends said she uses this. This is working for me. Any thoughts?
So the idea is that you're just pretty much taking and you're just making whatever it is into an image, correct?
Yeah, because I have to insert, I'm inserting all our data and documentation into it to display.
I'm going to say that you're probably doing that's the best idea, either that, whatever the one that you're using, or just taking a screenshot on your computer. Do you have
screenshot? You know what the problem with the screenshot? Because that's what Lynn said. And here's the problem with the screenshot. You can't, it's just, you're getting part of it. You're getting part of the screen in. This to me is just better. It's a better platform to do it. So, but thank you. I didn't know if this could help me, but I'll just continue with that.
It might help you, but this is not really kind of like a screenshot type thing. This is more of like, I have a PDF and I'm gonna manipulate on top of it with other people. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, I might have another idea for you though. I'm gonna get to it after this, but I think I might have another idea for you. It'll take me into a totally separate area, but I'll get to that afterwards.
At the end, could I ask you something? Because I don't want to take away from their time, because I just had a problem with the meeting right before this.
So why don't you stay on with me after?
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Perfect.
To not take away from their time.
Of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so we're back here. So now what I want to do is I could pull in from my drive, I could create a new document, or pull in from my computer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to head on over to my drive because I know I have a whole boatload of PDFs in here that I could work on. So I click on my account because it's always going to try to verify for you, who are you? And it pulls up my drive. So like I said, this is the important part of making sure it's connected to the right account. I can search through here, or I could just click on PDFs. So it will pull up all of the folders that have PDFs in it. To get even more granular, I will just type in SAMR because that's what I'm looking for. I have a particular PDF that I want to utilize. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. I'm going to open up. Okay. This is a PDF that I had living inside of my drive. Okay. And as you can see, there's already stuff on here. So this is a PDF that I used once before. I'm going to walk you through the left-hand side and what these components will do for you. So we start at the top, and this is the select button. So anytime I'm like kind of futzing around through here and making my way through all these, if I need to just kind of get back to my arrow and have it be in select mode, I'll just click right up here and make sure that my arrow is selected. All right. So the next component is the dictionary. So when I have dictionary selected, I can come over to any word, highlight it, and it will give me what the meaning of the word is all throughout the article. Again, it's just important to remember that if you have this on, anything you tap on will pop up here. And then if I want it to go away, I will exit out. Right? So again, just to come over here, I'll show you that this is a whole entire PDF from top to bottom. The next part is the text to speech. So this is where it can help students who maybe might have an issue with reading and they can't access this text. It might be too difficult. Maybe hearing it might be better. So I have my tools up here to kind of go up and down between what I'm reading. But just as an overall, to start reading, you would click on read page and stop. This right here changes the voice. So it's really important to kind of listen to these voices before you make any suggestions, because some of them are very harsh. Some of them are hard to understand. But you will be able to decide who is reading on your page. So I will select the default voice and I'll click play.
1. PAGSAMRMODELEXPLANATI.
That is going way too fast. So I'm going to click stop, which is right here. And this changes the speed. So I'm able to slow it down a little bit. See how it says 0.7, and I'll click play.
1. PAGSAMRMODELEXPLANATION BSAMR Model of Technology Integration Article.
So not perfect, but it still gives them a chance to be able to hear what is going on in this text. The other thing about this is that you can also change it into different languages. So if I scroll all the way down, see how it says Google German, right? We have this right here. This is a translation into another language based on Google's translation algorithm. So it might not be perfect. And for those of you who speak other languages, you know that Google Translation is a good way, but it's not always perfect because the literal translation might be different in the way it comes out in terms of dialect. But it is here, and it is a way for a student to be able to kind of access something that they might not have otherwise been able to, especially when it comes to languages that aren't readily available by translation standards. So that is here. I'm going to click outside of this, and I'm going to head right down to the markup. So this would be something that you would probably consider using more frequently. This is the highlighting tool. So maybe we're working with students on vocabulary words in a content area, right? We want to look at words that we might not know, and we can color code those. The words I don't know, words that I do know. Go ahead, take your snack. I have my son here, as if you guys have been in my PDs before, knows that he likes to jump in and out. So excuse me. So I click on the highlighter. Let's say I want you to highlight tools that are unknown to you or difficult to you in yellow. So yellow is selected. I come over here and I'm going to highlight integration. Okay. And then I'm going to also highlight, let me go down here. I have no idea what I have no idea what any of this means actually. Augmentation, modification, substitution. I'm going to highlight all of those. And you'll see that it's highlighted in yellow. But I'm going to highlight some of the words that I do know. And I'm going to highlight those in green. I'm going to highlight technology. I'm going to highlight blended learning. Okay. So again, it's just about using colors and highlighting that you would do maybe on a PDF normally by hand, doing it on here. You also have the option to highlight a full box. So if I wanted to highlight this whole entire section, I can click on this and I can highlight the entire section as so. And it still keeps the original highlighting that I had over with my vocabulary words. Again, thinking about, what is the purpose of using this tool? Is it meaningful to me? Is it meaningful to the practice that I'm doing? So I'm going to come back up here and click select because I want to show you that after you've done this highlighting, you can always go back to it and make changes. So when I hover over, you'll see that this is the full paragraph I highlighted. I can change the color, the highlighting, and you'll also see that it's me who's on here. So this is my name, and in the top right corner, you'll see that that's me logged in. When there are other people in here, I could actually invite people, and I'll show you how to do that. We could all be doing the same thing on this one document. So if we think about teachers working together, they could be annotating on here and highlighting different pieces, or it could be students on here also highlighting and working with their teacher, and you would see their initials pop up as you hover over. So I change the color, I could change the transparency, or I can just simply delete this. Okay? If I don't want this here, I tap on it, same thing. It's not as large as the other box was, but I can just simply click delete and it's gone. Right? So that's a way to do your marking up and then deleting things as you see fit. So I'm going to come on down to commenting. So this is big. This is what I talked about before in terms of it being like Google Docs. So for those of you who are Docs users, you know that you can go on there and you can make comments on each other's work. Students can be, giving each other feedback. Teachers can give feedback, whatever it is. We have the same thing here. So I can decide I want to put a comment on my PDF that I'm sending out to my students. So I could be sharing this with students. Or again, if there are other people in here with me, they can also add comments. So click text comment. And I could make my comments color coded. So if I'm working on a text comment, I can make that yellow. I'm going to come over here to redefinition, and I'm going to say, I have no clue what this is. Please help me. And that is my yellow text comment. And again, you'll see when I hover, it allows me to change. I hit enter. I could do a voice comment. So if I click here, I'm going to see the same options down here. I'm going to make my voice comments red. And I'm going to tap right here. And it starts recording me right away. And you'll see that the number is going up. That means I'm recording. I think I know modification, but I'm not 100% sure. I've heard the word before, but maybe you can help me. Click stop, and then I'll play it back for you. And it starts recording me right away. And you'll see that the number is going up. Okay, so now I have the ability to do text. I have the ability to record my voice. I also have the ability now over here to video comments.
Wow.
So if I video comment, I'm going to make my video comments blue. I will come right here. Okay, it's going to start recording me. Hi. Augmentation is a little bit easier for me. I know that it's kind of a higher order skill, but it's not directly substituting. But I think that I can use some help here as well. I click done. And here is my video. So now we have levels. We have the text, we have the voice, and now you actually see me. I could be the teacher giving feedback to a student. I could be the teacher giving student guidance, whatever it is. But this is me with the video, and it is something that I know students are craving right now, being able to see their teachers.
Jackie?
Yeah.
Question. So if hypothetically, if I would see, first of all, I absolutely love these features. They're fabulous. I just love them. So can I insert a video, like an instructional video in there, or would it only be myself?
So that brings us to the next one. That's actually, you sort of can insert an instructional video by clicking on the screen capture. So earlier on, when I was talking to you about the Chrome extension that you would add, that would make this work. And how you can do that is by clicking on hit screen capture, right? And I decide I'm going to make this one, I'll make this one green, right? And I will click over here. Okay, so to use the desktop, I want you to pull in from, of course, my thing's not working. This is my screen capture by Cami. This is what I was talking about. It must be disabled, so give me a second. All right, let me do that one more time. Why is it not letting me? Anyway, okay, so it's not letting me demo it for you, but this right here, this was working perfectly fine yesterday, and I guess it doesn't want to today. You would be able to pull in a video like you're talking about. It would screen capture. So you would actually be recording whatever is on your screen, and you could head on over, let's say, to this video, and you could play this video, and that will live over here on the side comments as well.
Amazing.
So there's just so much stuff that you can do. You know, that I'm going to get this to work. So I'm going to remove this and I'm going to reinstall it because I really do want to show you what it looks like. We're going to reinstall this. This is I love when these things happen. It's good to show because sometimes when your extensions aren't working up top, it does help to kind of kill them, remove them and then reinstall them. Let's see if that does anything for us. Here we go. Okay. So all I had to do was uninstall and reinstall. So now I clicked here, I clicked on the color, I tapped on my screen just like I did with the other ones. And now I do a screen share. So now I'm sharing my screen and I could play this. I'm not in, here we go.
As school closures increase due to the coronavirus outbreak, more educators are planning and preparing ways to implement remote learning for their students. We want to help. If you're looking for
Okay, so I'm only going to show part of it. I just wanted to kind of have it larger so we can see what it looks like. This was capturing it the whole time. So I will click over here. Now I'm sharing my screen and I could play this. I'm not in,
As school closures increase due to the coronavirus outbreak, more educators are planning and preparing ways to implement remote learning for their students.
So you see that you are able to grab something from elsewhere and put it into this screen capture, which is kind of amazing because, you know, it's just another level of like how you can, or it could even be parents, whether you're pushing this out to parents, pushing this out to kids, other adults. This is a really cool feature. It is only 5 minutes that it allows you, but still, it's you're not really going to put these long diatribes on your PDF viewer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So then I'm going to move on to my text. So now we talked about adding comments on here, which is great, fine and dandy, but you're also able to add text onto this. So it might not be useful in this particular scenario and in this PDF, but if I click on it, it tells me the font size that I'm using. I could make it larger, I can make it smaller, I'll make it bigger, and I can change my color. And I'll start typing up here. This is for group 1. Okay. Basic text box, I can move it around. When I tap on it, I can make modifications to the way it looks, the text type, the size, and again, the spacing, and all the other features that you would see in Docs, Drive, Word. So the other thing that we have here is that we have the ability to do voice typing. So if a student is not able to type, they have the ability to voice type here. My name is Jackie and I am in this group. And then I tap it again to make it stop. Okay, and there we go. I'll just delete this. So you have this in order to be able to help students who maybe can't type quick or it's just not developmentally appropriate. Whatever their learning style is, you have that here. Okay. I also, for those of you who use hyperlinks and like to hyperlink things to your documents or hyperlink things in your emails, you can hyperlink a full sentence. You could hyperlink a word. Let's say you wanted to share this presentation. When you're hyperlinking anything, you copy the URL that you want to use. It could also be like, let's say, a PBS website. It could be Scholastic. It doesn't matter. You just copy the website. You come over and you highlight the word, the words, the sentence, and you click on the chain link. You'll always see the chain link, and you paste in the URL. Okay, and you'll see that it's now underlined. That tells me that this is a link that I can go to. I can click on this, and it will open up whatever the destination is. So again, this might not be something that is in your wheelhouse, but it's okay because we're just playing around today. When I hover over, so you see I'm hovering over this because this is what I'm working on, I have the red X. I can just delete this. If I did something wrong, I don't want this here, I can just X this out. Earlier when I opened this up, I told you that I had things on here that I did not want. So see, this was a text box that I used before. I'm going to delete it and it's gone. Okay, I'm going to move down to equations, not something that I use frequently because I am not the math person at the district, nor was I ever really a math person. No, okay, I was elementary, so I did math everything. But this is the equation bar, and you could add in different equations for students and work within the math realm using this feature. Then we have drawing. So drawing is very self-explanatory. You come over here and this tells you your stroke thickness. Again, depending on the activity that you're in, you might want it just to be a very thin line. Maybe you're asking students to circle. They might be editing. They could be editing a writing piece. They could circle words that were spelled incorrectly. They could be underlining words that needed to be capitalized. But you can use the drawing feature pretty much for anything that you need. You can draw shapes, but again, drawing becomes a little bit more difficult when you're using a trackpad on a laptop. With a mouse, it might be easier, but it's sometimes a little bit difficult to manipulate. So if I want to get rid of any of these, what I'll do is I'll click on select, right? Why are you not working right now? I'm having issues. All right, there it is. So when I click on select, and I click on the actual drawing, this is where I can also make some modifications too. So if I made a mistake, I can just exit out here. Same thing with this guy. I have to be a little bit more precise though in how I tap on it, and I delete it. All right. So then we'll move down to shapes. Again, these are all just features that you could use at will. And depending on the lesson that you're doing, again, this would probably lend itself to math. It could also lend itself to writing if you're talking to students or whoever about putting specific icons or using this for a key, in terms of words and content words, content vocabulary, that type of stuff. But I'm going to come down here and then you have lines. So you can do, connecting ideas, maybe making graphic organizers on here, which is also something to consider when you're using a blank document, which if I have a chance, I will quickly show you. Lastly is you have the eraser. I could erase things that are on here just by tapping on them. Got to be a little bit more precise. And instead of doing the whole delete like I did before. But again, a million ways to get to the same output. And images. So this is why it's important for it to know that it's connected to your your Drive account, because you have the ability to pull in items from your Drive. So if I clicked here and I had pictures or images in my Drive, I can click there. I could pull in right from my computer, or my favorite, I could do a safe Google search right in here. So I don't even have to go outside and open something else up. So I could type in puppy and I will have my puppies pop up. I will click insert and then I will drop it where I want it to be. And then I can move it around. I can make it smaller. Oops. And I open this bad boy up. Click over here, make it smaller. If it lets me, which we're not having much luck with that today. There we go. All right, little finesse. And there we have it. And again, I could simply delete it or crop it, rotate it, but we'll leave it up here for now. All right, so I showed you all the bells and whistles of things that I can do inside of this PDF, right? Here's the part that I was mentioning to you before. I could have you guys in here right now. If I decided to invite you in, I would click up here, which is the universal sign for share. And I would have to upload it first because it's uploading into Kami. And it gives me sharing options that are similar to Google. So what I would do is I can copy this link and I could pretty much just push it out to you right now. So what I did initially was I had this link available for, I'm actually going to change it because this is the one from yesterday. I'll put in the one from today. Oops. And what would happen is you would be able to, I hate when that happens, my screen went wonky. Edit, undo. What you would be able to do is you would be able to click on this and you would be able to join me inside of this document right here. And I would see your names pop up just like they are inside of this slides presentation that you were in with me before. So like I said, it mimics and mirrors a lot of the stuff that Google does. So if you wanted to, you could click on here and you could come into this PDF with me, and I would see your initials pop up at the bottom. Okay. The next thing that you can do from here is you can click on menu and you can create a Google Classroom assignment right from here. So I'm going to quickly create an assignment, and you'll notice that it looks very similar to Google Classroom when you create an assignment. It's just a different color. You're going to decide which class it's for. Okay. So I'm going to push this out to my online learning class. I'm going to decide, is it for all students? Again, think about what is the purpose of this assignment? Is it for all of my kids? Is it for some of my kids? It's just for Alice today. And then we're going to leave it as published. I'm going to give it a title. This is our SAMR PDF. Please look at my comments and provide feedback on what you know.
Jackie, I'm sorry to interrupt, but one of my administrators needs me to help her with something. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm going to keep going with the recording, and I'm going to post it so you can come back and watch.
And I can't ask you the questions. Let me see if I could help her quickly.
Okay, but we'll be here, so you can always come back on.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we are here, and I'm continuing to add in my instructions for my student. I want them to look at the PDF, provide feedback. There will be student instructions on using Kami attached, and I'll explain that in a moment. So down here, this is the actual document that's already attached to my assignment, just like you do in Google Classroom. It says make a copy for each student because that is automatically what it's going to do. You can also change it so that it could be one copy for all students to be in together. Do I want all students to be able to engage on this one document? You might. If it's only 3 kids and you're doing a guided reading group or you're doing collaborative reading, you might do that. But for right now, we're going to make it so that it's only one for each student. You select your point values. You select a due date. So I'm going to make mine due Monday at 1 o'clock. And then I'm going to schedule, nope, we'll leave it as now. And then you pick your topic just like you would normally in Classroom. So I'm going to click make it today's assignments. Okay. Once that's done, over here, it says send Kami instructions to students. That's what I mentioned up in here. So you have the ability to go in just like you did, like I showed you before, where you go in, you create an account, and you sign up as a teacher. These are the student instructions. It's actually very easy. They're going to do similar to what you're going to be doing. This is just a way for parents to be able to kind of do it with ease, and it can also be translated. They will go on, they'll go into Kami, and they'll just sign up with whatever account they have with your school. So I will actually show you what the student end looks like. I'm good to go. My assignment's ready. I click assign. I'm going to, as soon as this goes through, I'm going to go over into an incognito window, and I'm going to open up Alice's account because I am Alice. Okay. I'm going to do incognito. I'm going to go into my classroom as a student because I'm the student named Alice. Go into my classroom. Let me sign in. Alice Apple at Strong Schools, NYC. Okay. And it's a miracle I remember all 90 of my passwords. All right, we're here. So this is Alice's class, online learning, and this is the one that I just posted for her, but I'm going to go in this way. All right, and I'm going to click on classwork, and I will go to today's assignment because I know that's the one that Miss Batanio wants me to do, SAMR PDF. I open it up. I see that I have, these are the instructions that I was talking about. So it attaches to this assignment. So the first time the student gets this, well, this shouldn't be the first time the student sees this, but it can be added just as a reminder. So this walks them through how it is they can use this on their own computers. Okay. And it's also going to pretty much mimic the Google Classroom setup too, with the turning in and everything. So I'm going to X this out. Okay. And right here, this is Alice Apple's assignment. So this is the actual assignment, right? This, you'll notice that you have some of the things that I added on here, okay? But now the student, they're in charge of actually getting on here and making some comments themselves. How are they going to do that? Once they have Kami installed and they went through that whole process of signing up, not installed, I take that back. Once they either have the extension on or they've signed in, this will now pop up for them when they open up the document. They open the PDF up. So they'll click open with Kami. And now Alice Apple will be signed in to her Kami account. Once she goes through, she'll have to click on, again, I've been signed in as her already, but you would click on that top blue button and it would sign Alice in. So this is Alice Apple and she is in here. It looks identical to the teacher end, but she has her marching orders, which are back over here. So if I come back into classroom, it tells me what to do. And then I'm here on my dashboard and I could start engaging in the work that my teacher has presented. And I could also listen to what she has said and what she has done. So the only difference that student has is up here, they have the turn in button. So like I said before, this mimics Google Classroom. So when I click turn in, it's going to say, has my name, Alice Apple, the SAMR model, and I'm going to click turn in. And then you will see, once it saves, there we go. You can always unsubmit it. So now I'm going to come back over here and I'm good to go. I don't have to turn it in. It's already turned in for me. See up here? Normally it would say turn in, but it's already good and done and sent to my teacher. So I'm almost at time and I did a lot of talking. I'm going to come back over to the meet and I'm just going to ask you, do you think that this is something that you would consider using? I mean, I know it's a lot to digest, like in one sitting, and I think it's beneficial for you to go and just kind of tinker around with it. But could you see yourself using something like this in your classroom or in your school? You can just pop off mute.
Yes, I would like to use it.
What grade do you teach, Lisette?
Fourth and dual.
Jewel, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not to put you on the spot, so you don't have to answer me, but what do you think, like a very base level, what do you think you could use it for?
I don't know. I can't think of anything right now, but I think it's very. I mean, it has a lot of good features. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I you know what? Just to give you an idea, like I can tell you that there's a teacher over at PS55 who is using it for guided reading for first graders.
I only teach math. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, I'm thinking. I don't know. Maybe have homework or something, an assignment that
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
So for you, what you can do is, and like I said, I didn't get to it today, but when you're playing with this, what I would suggest that you play with in particular is the blank document. So if you go into the blank document instead of the PDF that we did, you might be able to see how creating, let's say, different using shapes and fractions might be beneficial for your math class. Yeah. So tinker with the blank documents. See if that's something that might work for you.
Could I use like a PDF I mean, I'm a little confused. Like, there's a way to convert the PDF into a Google
Mhm.
document. Is that something, I mean, is that the same? I mean, could they, if I write problems or give them problems or a PDF, I
This
send it?
this is not convert. So this isn't converting PDFs into anything. This is just taking a PDF and allowing you to just
Yeah,
kind of like mess around on it.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm. Rachel, you just got to play around with it. That's what you're going to do. It's the best thing. And you're going to decide if it's something you like, something you don't like. Again, the most important thing is to decide if it's going to improve your teaching and make your life easier. That's really it.
Maybe for the L's also.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they need so many scaffolding and
Mm-hmm.
I mean with a video highlighting vocabulary all together in one place.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's the other thing. The whole point is that it's like all in one area. So instead of having to do, this extension, that extension, I have a lot of stuff on mine over here well, I'm not sharing my screen, but on the right, I have like the comment recording, which I use, but like using Cami kind of takes it away for me. But yeah, so anyway, I'm done with the actual session. So are there any other questions, or you guys just want to probably just go play with it or say forget it?
Yeah. Okay.
So Rachel,
I just have a quick question. If I have already a slide created already, I'm able to get that slide and move it or place it in the Cami app, the whole thing, or I have to start all over.
I'm sorry, say that again for me one more time, Martha. It's coming in a little strange for me.
Okay, I just create a slide, a Google slide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just did it last week.
Yep.
But now with these new features, I'm able to get that one and just like add it to this Cami app, or I have to start all over.
So this is